algo interesante.
Es lo mismo.
Escuchar el acento, que quiera escucharme hablar, escuchar hablar a un nativo.
I'm always eavesdropping. I can't even help it. La verdad está muy rico. ¿Cómo fue su día de descanso? I just kind of like froze up. Es mi primera vez pidiendo esto.
Vengan para acá, aprendan español. Sigan a Ángela, es muy buena para el español.
Aquí está mi dentista. I immediately started missing getting Spanish input in that way. Literally want to move here.
Para que vengan a visitarnos y se den su recuerdo bien padre, ¿no? Aquí los esperamos.
Bien, gracias. So transparent with you. Hola, mi amor. So if you're planning a trip, I would recommend.
Ah, ¿y habla español?
Say que we could go walk maybe by the Malecon or algo así. We can chat, catch up about the day. I've never felt unsafe being here in Mexico. Always usually going everywhere alone and doing things alone here for many years. But things have been a little bit weird in Sinaloa. Maybe you have heard. A little bit more dangerous, but I don't really think like for tourists in general. I am just gonna be aware of my surroundings. Always loved walking on the Malecon, being where the ocean is and where people are. Kind of like escaping some of the gringos, you know? I'm not 100% sure, but it would be cool if I could find someone to speak a little Spanish with me, no? So we'll see. Everyone in the world watches YouTube, but then like when you see someone playing vlogging in public, it's like, why are you looking at me like I'm the strangest person in the world? You think that your favorite vloggers vlog. Anyways, I feel like you guys are like bringing me a little bit of comfort, and also for some reason I feel safer speaking with you guys and having you guys here. So Hot Dog El Charlie, famous like hot dog place. It all started as just a little stand in the street. A lot of people will go there after a night out and things like that. Hot dogs wrapped in bacon, and then they have like 1,000,000 de toppings. And la verdad está muy rico. They finally got like their own restaurant thing, but it's kind of funny. What they did is they literally put the exact cart from the street in the middle of this big restaurant with chairs around. Like that's it. They didn't, you know, like really convert it into like a kitchen or anything, which I just thought that was so funny. But we're almost there. Nos vemos en un minuto. Es un...
Mira, aquí yo soy su amigo de Más Dron. Estamos todos los días de 5 a 9 aquí en las letritas de Mazatlán para que vengan a visitarnos y se den su recuerdo bien padre, ¿no? Aquí los esperamos.
Bien, gracias. You can go ahead and count that as your little input. And your little input for the day. Mucha gente. En la fin de semana hay más, pero sí está muy bonito y todo. Lugar favorito en todo el mundo. Okay, vamos a sentar. The thing is, if I sit down, someone comes to like bother me or something, I'm sitting and I can't just like get up and leave, you know? Like if I'm walking and they say something, I'm just like, and then I leave. Vamos a ver. Thought we could catch up about today. I went to the dentist and I got my teeth cleaned, and also I needed a new retainer made like for the top. And I don't know if this is like interesting to anybody. Guys, me da muchísima pena. Pero no sé si esto es algo interesante. Pero I thought I'd tell you how much everything costs that I got done. So for my teeth cleaning, it costs around $15 US. And then for the retainer, I've needed to get a new one for a while. I've had mine that I wear at night for around like 5 years, and it was just getting a little worn down. And that costs $40. So I've actually been coming here every year and getting my dental work done for a really long time. I've needed like more serious dental work done in the past. And in the US, it would cost almost triple of what it costs here for me to get it done. And so, okay, chicos, vamos a caminar. Me da demasiado pena ahorita, pero creo que está mejor si estoy caminando. Okay, so me and my mom got our nails done today, and both of the ladies doing our nails didn't speak any English. I was able to translate so many things, and I don't know, I'm just constantly reminded how amazing it is to be able to speak Spanish. And even though I couldn't translate things perfectly, there's always like a way around where you're able to get the point across, even with really complex topics. I just love it. I love it here. I love being able to speak Spanish, even if it's, you know, the roundabout way for what I want to say in some case scenarios. Also, I think just being able to like connect with people in general, whereas before you're just like sitting there existing in the same room, you can't even say anything to each other really. And I don't know, I'm just really happy. ¿Es su celular? Got it? Okay. Bye. It's just like these girls, and I think it was like a family or something, but I could tell like they saw me earlier and then they were kind of looking at me. He stopped me and asked if I make videos on YouTube and how they can find me on YouTube. It was so sweet. Yeah, I could tell they were a little bit shy, but I just think that was really sweet. And so I showed them my channel, and if you're watching this, wish I got your names. You guys were the sweetest. Thank you for stopping me. Oh, muy interesante que estaba pasando muchas veces aquí en México. Es que la gente dices algo y una manera diferente que yo estoy acostumbrado, y en esos momentos no sabía qué están diciendo. Como que justo ella estaba preguntándome sobre mi canal y se dice como, ¿y qué le tienes? O sea, o algo así. Y estaba como, ¿qué? I was like, can you word it differently? Or like, can you say it in a different way? And this happened one other time. They say something, okay, my friend was asking in Spanish like what I was gonna order, and I was like, ¿qué? And then she was like, ¿qué vas a pedir? What is normal to say in these different situations? Because I have learned through comprehensible input, if I've never stumbled across a video or a podcast where they say something in a certain way, not in my brain, like I don't know that. You know what I mean? It's not programmed into my brain. Period. Vamos por unos tacos. Estoy muy emocionada. Ya es tiempo. Un taco al pastor y también un chorreada pastor y también agua de horchata más pequeña. Un Jamaica también. Tortilla de harina. Do you want a flour tortilla? Yeah. I'm gonna ask. Pregunta. La bebida que está rosa, ¿qué es? ¿Acá?
No, esa fue Jamaica, nomás que es la espuma.
Ah, okay. It's like the rest of the Jamaica. It's just like this. It's like the rest of it. It's what is it called? Foam. Gracias. Mira, qué rico está. Do you want to be in my video while I'm gone? Okay. Mira mi papá. Chuga con un poco de taco. Mamá y yo estamos peleando por el lugar de los mejores tacos, y ya, ella no estás comiendo nada, pero ese lugar sí es mi favorita, pero mi mamá no. And someone eat a chorreada?
Chorreada? Yeah, like that.
Es mi primera vez pidiendo esto. Está bien. Without cilantro, it would have been better. ¿Estás viendo mis videos y hablas español? Por favor, cuéntame si hay una manera de decir it's hitting the spot en español. Porfa. Buenos días, chicos. Vamos a desayunar y después tengo que recoger mi retainer al dentista, y después tengo un masaje y estoy muy emocionada porque ya Creo que es muy necesario porque, no sé, mucho estrés estos años y también cuando estaba enferma. O sea, I coughed so hard when I was sick that like I did something weird to my back. So. Y creo que es un muy buen precio también. Por una hora es como 20-25 dólares estadounidenses. Y en Estados Unidos, un masaje por una hora sería como 100 dólares o algo así. Así que me parece un muy buen precio. No sé qué más, pero vamos viendo. ¿Un minuto más? Sí, gracias. ¿Tienes un menú por cafecitos? Sí. Un caramel latte, pero helado, si es posible, sí.
Soya, coco,
Creo que normal, sí. Y también chilaquiles poblano, pero a mí no me gustan los frijoles.
¿Pero puedo cambiar por papa?
Sí. Creo que papa, está bien. Últimamente estoy como obsesionada con los chilaquiles poblano. Bueno, mejor dicho, estoy obsesionada con poblano sauce en general. Aquí está mi dentista. For some reason, the audio did not record in this clip, but I know exactly what I said. I just finished up my massage and took a shower, and the massage was so amazing. It was so needed. Like I said, I felt like I was carrying a lot of stress in my shoulders, and my massage lady definitely told me, she was like, it was really bad, and I might be getting another massage before I leave, because I just knew it was needed. It's been a really long time, and a few stressful months, I will say. One thing I loved is being able to speak Spanish with my massage therapist because it just makes you feel so much more comfortable, especially when in this situation you're face down, you can't use hand gestures. It just made everything much more comfortable, being able to understand her, being able to speak if I needed to speak about the pressure or anything like that. Another thing that happened is, I swear, the minute that my massage started, the condo unit above me decided to remodel their entire unit or something, because there was this jackhammering and everything, and me and my massage lady were just able to laugh and kind of joke about it, but it was so loud. I swear at one point I thought they're gonna drill a hole right through the floor and see me laying here getting my massage. It was that loud. Luckily, it only lasted not even half the massage, but I just thought that was so funny. And another thing I wanted to share with you guys is I have been loving listening to Spanish music. I mentioned it here and there in my past few videos, but for the past year, I would say I really haven't been listening to music in general, because I've been focusing on getting Spanish input. So especially now that I'm at a higher level, I have just fallen in love with listening to Spanish music. I've unlocked like a new obsession. There's just something so special about being able to understand the lyrics. So I find that every free moment I have, or when I'm getting ready, I'm listening to Spanish music and loving every second of it. I don't have many more plans for the day. I'm gonna go get my nails done, at least on my hands, and then I'm not sure, we'll probably go to dinner and things like that, but I will catch up with you guys a little bit later. Muy buenos días. I thought we could do a little bit of catching up while I'm getting ready this morning. Today is actually my mom's birthday. It should be a really good day. We are gonna go to breakfast, like a nicer breakfast at one of our favorite resorts that we used to stay at. And of course we have dinner later. We're gonna go watch our friends that play in the band and then go out to dinner and do a little, not bar hopping, because I mean, I guess they are bars, but like restaurant hopping, I don't know, to listen to music. My mom loves to do that. I think the guys are gonna come with us, so it should be really fun. I thought we could talk about yesterday. Ayer fue un día muy tranqui. I saw you after my massage. I got my nails done after that. And then we went to get Thai food. And then after that, we went and just watched some like bands that were playing. We didn't have planned to do that, but it was only like 8 p.m. And you know when you're on vacation, it just like, it just feels weird to go home so early, at least for me. I really wanted to be getting more clips of me like speaking Spanish with people. It's kind of hard because they happen so randomly and it's not really like normal to just like pull out your camera, you know what I mean? And your microphone. Found that I'm meeting so many people because of Spanish. That's another thing, like the conversations happen very like unexpectedly because my mother, you guys know, I told you, telling everyone in the whole entire world that I am learning Spanish. And something also is she like knows everyone here. I mean, she's like that person that wherever you go, she's like meeting everybody. And so think of that for many, many years. She literally knows everybody. So she's always introducing me to people. And I already knew a ton of people because I've been coming here for years. It's like if there was anyone missing, well, they're not missing anymore. She'll tell them right away, meet my daughter, come meet my daughter. And you know, and then she goes on her spiel about how I suddenly know Spanish. I swear the months that she's saying are like getting shorter and shorter. I've been learning Spanish for almost a year. So I've been telling people that it's, you know, about a year. She's been telling people 10 months. But then I feel like it's getting shorter. Like I think last night she said 9 months. So I'm always correcting her like in Spanish to the people. I'm like, no. Like she's really excited right now, but it's a year. That way I've been meeting people and it's almost like it's like an instant connection because we just start talking fully in Spanish and usually the conversations last so long. And so just the connections that you're able to make because you speak Spanish it's very, very different. Because if you can imagine if my mom would be like, oh, like meet my daughter or something, it's really just like, oh, hi, like nice to meet you. How many more days are you staying here? When did you get here? You know, things like that. The second that they find out I can speak Spanish, I think changes right away. The topic and just like the overall vibe, you know? And then I find that even after that, when we see each other again, we're like immediately speaking, catching up. Instead of the very surface level things, when I watched my footage back, I'm like, oh yeah, there's definitely like mistakes in there. But I don't know, I feel comfortable with you guys and I just kind of go for it. The thing about with comprehensible input is you're not studying the grammar, so you're not structuring the sentences in your brain based off grammar knowledge. You're kind of just shooting, you're just going. The thing I was gonna tell you guys is I haven't been listening to a lot of input or like almost any since I've been here. And last night we were in an Uber going to the Thai restaurant and it was a little bit of a longer drive and the guy in there had a podcast on. And I was like thoroughly loving it. I immediately started missing getting Spanish input in that way. And so I think I'm gonna try in my downtime to listen a little more. I've just been listening to music. Like I told you guys, I've been really liking Spanish music. But just like that podcast style, it felt like very nostalgic when I was in the car listening to this podcast that this guy had on, which I just think is funny. And my parents were like, can you understand what this podcast is saying? The thing that I can do best is listen in Spanish, and especially like podcasts and things like that. So, okay, I need to hurry up and get ready, and I will catch you guys in a little bit. Hola chicos, vamos por la cena para mi mamá, su cumpleaños. Buenos días chicos, mira este gatito. ¡Qué tierno! I don't know if that cat belongs to that unit or not. I've never seen anyone there. Es jueves, ya. Okay, tengo que editar mi video, sí o sí. I'm going to go to a cafe, just basically edit. I'm going to meet up with my friends later. Last night was really fun. We went to dinner. I also met 2 new friends, both my age, and we were just like talking so much of the night in Spanish, and it was just so fun. Like, it's just so different when you know Spanish. Weird, because I can totally see myself literally moving here, making friends. And I don't think it'd be nearly as easy as that if I didn't speak Spanish. Vamos a tomar un Uber. Y cuesta, ¿cómo cuesta? ¿Cuánto cuesta? 84 Mexican pesos. And I'm going really far. Like, I'm basically going to Centro. We are not in Centro. ¿Tienes 100 pesos? Ahí está. Gracias. Hola. Definitely notice when I'm tired, I just revert to English without even thinking. And we definitely had a late night last night, and so I'm definitely feeling a little bit more sleepy. Creo que voy a pedir algo ligera. Pensé que después pues vamos por unos tacos o algo, ¿no? ¿Qué es esto de shaker tonic?
Es un shot de espresso chequeado con agua tónica.
Agua.
Agua tónica.
Okay.
Como agua gaseosa.
Creo que no. Un cappuccino. It's iced, ¿no?
Sí. Puede ser frío o caliente.
Sí, frío.
Frío.
Y también un fruit bowl.
Ok. Cappuccino leche regular.
Sí, está bien.
Ok. Entonces el cappuccino frío y el bol con frutas.
Sí. Gracias.
¿Lleva yogur? ¿Está bien?
¿Ah?
¿Ya el bol con fruta lleva yogur?
Sí.
Sí, ok.
Poco o algo.
Sí, ajá.
Sí, está bien, gracias. Vamos por unos tacos. I'm gonna go to the Mercado. It's my favorite place, literally ever. But they have some really good tacos that I tried last year. I don't know, we'll just walk around. I have a few hours until my plans that are a little bit later. So we'll just see what we get up to, get some tacos, maybe get like an ice cream. I don't know, just hang out. Hola, mi amor. Oh, good, he has a collar, so, oh. I don't know how great that is for the tires. Hola, no tengo comida. I told you that I would be so transparent with you. And of course, I always am. But something that I've noticed that I did not expect, but it's for sure happening. First, I just thought like, oh, maybe I'm having like an off day or something. But it's been a few days now, and I've definitely noticed that, gosh, you guys, I'm seeing another cat. If I lived here, we would have serious problems, like 30 cats. Come over here because someone's staring at me and I hate that. Okay, what am I talking about? I thought I was having like an off morning or something, but it's been a few days now and it's 100% certain that because I haven't been listening to input, I mean, obviously I'm in Mexico, I'm getting Spanish input by talking to my friends and stuff, but if you think about it in comparison, like for many months I was doing 5 hours a day of Spanish input. That's like continuous input, like listening to podcasts, things like that. And if you compare that, even if I'm with my friends like all day, I don't know. It's just like not the same amount. Notice that I feel like I'm not as like primed, like my Spanish isn't as primed the more days that go on that I'm not getting like podcasts as input and things like that. And that just shocked me so much. Maybe you guys can even tell I feel like I've been speaking less Spanish when recording as well. Like it's just not as there. Whereas like other times, even when I was preparing for my trip, like the Spanish is just more there. It, you know, it just like comes out. I mean, I've never gone this many days without listening to podcasts or YouTube, at least probably 2 or 3 hours. The power of input. So even if you live in Mexico or live in somewhere where you're trying to learn the language, you need to still utilize input as much as possible. So with that said, like I went out with my friends last night, well, for my mom's birthday, and we were able to talk in Spanish and it was totally fine. But I just noticed it's just not as there. Like I'm not like primed for it or something. It's really weird. You see that gringo plugging his ears literally for the banda music? There's definitely like a situation going on with gringos and banda music aquí in Mazatlan. You can look it up like on YouTube or something if you wanna learn more. But I just thought that was so funny. Like he wasn't even trying to be discreet. He just straight up plugging his ears. Con fruta y todo está muy limpio y no sé, se ve muy bien, ¿no? No sé, como en Estados Unidos toda la fruta y los papas están un poco sucio y no sé. ¿Sí me explico? O sea, vean esto. The onions are like so clean and just like they look perfect, literally. Cebolla. Gracias.
Refrescos, agua,
Agua está bien.
¿Natural?
Sí.
así o al líquido.
Gracias.
Te puedo dar un vasito con hielo.
Oh, no, no. Está bien. Sí, a mí me gusta esto. No sé por qué. ¿Esto pica?
No.
Ok.
Esta nada más.
Voy a poner un poquito de cebolla.
¿De vacaciones?
Sí. ¿Aprender español? Hace un año.
Un año.
Sí.
¿Lleva avance? ¿Ya llevas avanzada?
Sí.
¿Ya tú de dónde es?
¿De?
¿De dónde es?
En Estados Unidos, en Minnesota. Mucho frío. Sentado en un lugar más tranqui, gracias a Dios. Tengo horchata y también these every time I'm here. Suaves. Es como marshmallowy texture. Been my favorite for many years. I was getting a little overstimulated in the Mercado. O sea, sí es normal para mí, pero obviously there's a lot going on in there. But then I was trying to record while I was like ordering something, and I'm carrying a lot of stuff. Like I have my laptop and all that. Obviously there's like music, there's tons of people. People are staring at me, like for sure. I think all those things combined. I need to go sit somewhere a little bit more calm. I wish I was recording. Like I'm never recording when I have interactions. Like some guy just came and started talking to me. He was like asking for donations or whatever. I wish I was recording because I was able to speak a little bit of Spanish. Thought we could talk about some things that I have on my mind. The podcast, the videos I watch, you don't see these types of interactions, you know, everyday interactions when you're at the store, when you're asking like, oh, what kind of, like just now at the taco place, I was like blanking, trying to talk to her about what kind of meats there are and like which ones I wanted and stuff like that. And it's like, wow, in this moment, it seems like I don't know Spanish, but like I do. I don't know. It's really weird. Just because I haven't been in those scenarios, I haven't consumed content of people like in those scenarios. So if you're planning a trip, I would recommend like even watching maybe like vlogs. Like I was thinking about this. I think like food vlogs of like foodies who go and eating at restaurants and stuff, ordering food. I would say kind of submerge yourself there. That would be really good. But yeah, other than that, things are well. I will say I literally can't stop eavesdropping on people. When I'm walking around the Mercado and everything, always eavesdropping without trying. Ear is just so, it's just like looking for Spanish all the time. I feel like after all these months with so much Spanish input. Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo fue tu día de descanso?
Trabajando.
No.
Sí.
¿Por qué? ¿Ah?
Soy Didi Uber.
¿Cuándo vas a descansar?
Cuando ya.
No, es demasiado.
Tiene que trabajar.
Okay. Yesterday was his day off, and so I asked him how his day off was. What he does Didi. Estamos aquí comiendo, pero a mí no me gusta mucho los mariscos, pero sí. Y vean esto. ¿Quieres estar en mi video? Dile algo en español, no sé.
No sé qué decir.
¿Qué opinas de mi español?
Es bueno, es bastante bueno. Sí, yo pienso que si practicas un par de meses, vas a hacerlo mejor.
Ok, muy bien.
Es casi tan bueno como yo.
I say that because you kept saying.
Un gallo.
Gallo. Suena como cuando estás hablando
Ajá.
y se te sube.
Ajá.
Suena como un gallo.
Ah, sí, cierto.
Por eso le decimos gallo. Cita así, una mini cagada así, güey.
What do you think of his Spanish?
Allá en Estados Unidos hay acentos así feos.
Sí, muy diferente.
Sí, también.
Sí, como en el sur. Y también como, no sé cómo explicarlo, pero Alabama,
Hey, man.
Kentucky, like Tennessee. No sé cómo se...
Se me hace bonito a mí.
Estamos hablando sobre los acentos como diferentes. Y en México, como en Ciudad de México es muy diferente, en Mazatlán, en Culiacán. Sí, se me hace muy interesante. Oh, qué
running. I said,
bonito.
"Where's he running?"
Justo tiempo, o sea, te debería tomar el video.
Sí.
Llegaste al fin del mundo, o sea, la neta, güey. Los atardeceres están-
Todo el mundo está aquí para ver un juego de, no sé, a hockey game.
¿Tú te lo sabes?
Creo que no sé. Sí, pero no todo. Pepe, más tarde, ¿quieres estar en mi video? Ok.
I know, exactly. They're not spending money.
Sí.
Pero ahorita, güey, aquí
Americans that come to Mexico.
¿los quieres sacar?
Sí.
¿Será?
¿Estás nervioso o qué? Nah, estás muy bien con estas cositas, ¿no?
¿Está bien?
Sí. Como estar frente de la cámara y todo.
Como que eres una espía,
Sí.
un agente secreto.
Sí, cierto. Menos vergonzoso, honesto. Hoy estaba en el mercado y todo. Estoy intentando por mi canal en YouTube, donde estoy como mostrando mi progreso de aprender español. Y así que mucha gente, ellos quieren ver como mi progreso y mi primera vez en México después de aprender español. Y como sí, sí, gracias. ¿Qué? Como, no sé, estoy mal con los números. ¿Cómo es? ¿Qué es 1000?
1000.
¿1000? Sí, tengo como más de 1000.
He must learn English.
Sí,
He must learn English.
ya. Tú puedes aprender inglés. ¿Cómo? ¿Quién es? ¿Quién es? Ah, ¿de quién?
Parquéate,
Oh. I know. She was like, oh. ¿Vas a la casa o qué?
I haven't. No he hecho ejercicio desde hace mucho tiempo.
Ok, pero no hoy.
No he tenido tiempo.
Mejor mañana o algo.
¿Ahorita?
Nah.
No quiero hacer ejercicio ya.
¿Estás enfermo?
Ah,
Sí. ¿Vamos a correr o qué?
ahorita.
Después de comer y todo, creo que está mal. Sí.
We don't have-
¿Vas a correr con ellos?
Finish eating.
El acento de Canadá, yo sí lo identifico.
Really, really good. And we would
¿Sí?
go to these
¿En
hockey
serio?
games,
¿De Estados Unidos?
and I would freeze because the hockey
Muy
arena is freezing.
interesante.
Un beso.
Ah.
Agarra esta silla, güey.
Hola,
Tenemos
¿cómo
una
estás?
silla
Mucho
enfrente.
gusto.
Ah, ¿y hablas español?
Sí, estoy aprendiendo.
Agarra la silla si quieres. ¿Puedo ver tu
Sí, pero está grabando.
Hablo en español. Para que
Hola amigos, ¿quién está escuchando? Hola amigos, yo soy Martín de Mazatlán, Sinaloa, México. Vengan para acá, aprendan español. Sigan a Ángela, es muy buena para el español. Creo que estoy hablando un poquito rápido.
Está bien. ¿Qué? Esto. Ah, no sé. No me acuerdo, pero... No. Pero ya, esto es como la segunda, no sé cómo se dice, no temporada, pero segunda como versión. Y ahora tienes la tercera, está mejor, mucho mejor, pero ya DJI Pocket 2. Pero sí compré en Amazon.
Una prima allá en Las Vegas que trabaja en Amazon.
Ah, ¿en serio? ¿En Las Vegas?
Sí, una tiene el ángel.
Sí.
Trabaja en Las Vegas, pero no digas a dónde entró porque voy por ella.
Pero creo que la tercera está mucho mejor. La pantalla está mucho más grande y no sé. ¿Sí? Ok. ¿Qué already ate? ¿Qué comiste?
Jalada.
Ay, muy saludable.
Estoy yendo a correr.
¡Wow!
Ya, es que ya estoy.
Muy bien.
Es que lo primero
Es bien
que
simpático.
no le gustó todo en general.
Sí. ¿Qué?
Oh my god. Mucha
¿Qué?
comida, mucha. Muy alegre.
Ah, gracias.
Sabía que tienes un canal. ¿Cómo se dice influencer?
I'm always impressed when Pepe eats.
¿Qué, Pepe?
¿Cómo
We
se
still
dice
have plenty of
influencer en USA?
Es lo mismo.
¿Sí?
Sí.
Igual.
Es una palabra en inglés, yo creo.
Entonces eres influencer.
No, solo por diversión. Y ya como que es muy bien. No sé. No sé cómo se dice, pero no esperaba. No, ya sabes lo que estoy intentando a decir.
te esperabas.
Sí, solo por diversión y ya, pero sí, después como mucha gente.
Y vive en un rancho, sí, pues.
Ok, sí, es muy diferente.
no me gusta, o sea-
Con cuidado porque ya, o sea, vas a empezar a hablar como ella.
Sí, sí.
Porque ya, eso es como estoy aprendiendo, solo escuchando podcasts y viendo videos. Y no sé, intenté a ver solo como México,
Sí, sí.
un poco de Colombia y Venezuela también, un poco, pero no mucho España y cosas así, porque ya es muy diferente. Y sí, como su acento, vas a, sí.
Dicen que los extranjeros no entienden a España. O sea, los que hablan español.
Sí, es muy diferente con like
Tell
the
them how you learned English. Netflix.
en inglés, en español.
Poquito, no, pero estoy nervioso.
Ah, está bien,
No,
¿no?
that's how we learn English.
Cuéntame en español.
Se me olvidó.
Ah, sí, no.
how we learn
Yo
En
también cuando
español,
hablé con ella, sí
¿cómo
me
aprendiste inglés?
Viendo, pero que casi no sé, por eso me falta.
Playing video games.
No, exacto. Funciona muy bien. Y Wilner, hablas con un acento dominica. ¿En serio?
Sí.
Muy diferente.
No sabía
¿No lo
eso.
entiendes tú eso, verdad?
¿Qué?
¿No entiendes el acento de Wilmer?
No sé.
No ves la diferencia.
No sé porque...
Wilder casi.
Ya, sí. No, sí, pero no este año. Así que ahora sí puedo notar la diferencia, pero...
Tiene una gran diferencia ese cabrón.
Sí, no sabía eso. Pero claro que sí, el acento dominica y de Cuba, todo es muy diferente. ¿Vas a correr
Gordo.
Yeah.
hoy, en la noche?
Velludo, feo.
Tengo que entrenar. Si no
Angela.
entreno me muero.
We're just talking about how in the U.S., if your friend is fat, you don't say you're fat.
No.
But here, you can call them gordo and they're okay.
Ah, sí, es como tierno también con parejas.
Igual negro
The
también.
context. If you call it, hey, pinche gordo.
No, sí, es cierto, pero como, mi gordito y cosas así es muy normal,
I
¿no?
call Rubén my gordito.
¿En serio? Está rico.
Citlali.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Can I have one?
Yeah.
¿Es
Nut.
esto?
It's
Okay.
nut.
Pues,
Anybody
A
else
ver.
want one? Chocolate covered strawberry?
creo que hay nueces aquí también.
It's coconut.
Thank you, Ken. ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué traes ahí?
Algo por
Marcador de tiempo.
la música. I only have 2 days left in Mexico. I'm so sad about it. I swear the time flew by so freaking fast. We are gonna take the bus down to Centro to have breakfast and just hang out in the area. It's my favorite area. Just been hanging out, having fun, speaking in Spanish. Every day has just been a dream, and I'm so happy here. I thought that we could talk about a few things that I've noticed or that I've been thinking about. Try to see if you can hear me. I saw a video a long time ago of Pablo. He was talking about how he doesn't recommend that people that are starting to speak their target language receive a bunch of corrections all the time while they're speaking, but it's better to just let them kind of flow with their language, and then with input and just practicing their speaking, kind of iron out the mistakes as they go. I kind of didn't know what I thought about that at the time. Now that I've been in Mexico, and obviously I'm speaking Spanish all the time, like with so many people, sometimes friends or something in the conversation will just like quickly correct me if I say something wrong. And I've noticed that afterwards, I'm getting like tripped up on that now. Whereas before I'm just flowing, I'm just speaking freely, and yeah, with the mistakes and everything, but I'm just kind of flowing. But now when I go to say like the thing that I messed up on before, I'm like getting stuck and kind of caught up, and like I overthink, oh wait, which one is it? I want to give you the example, but I also don't, because I don't want you to start getting confused. It happened with one other thing too, where now every time I go to say that, I'm like, I kind of get stuck in my tracks and a little bit nervous and overthinking. And also, watch my last video when I was sick. I was getting a little bit nervous to say the wrong thing when I wanted to tell you guys that I was, like I had a fever and I was feeling warm, but I didn't want to say the other thing that means something worse. So basically, You're just gonna have to watch that video to see like what happened. Thought about this at that time too. Once you are taught, oh, mix up these things or make sure you don't say this, now in your mind, those two things are connected, like the right one and the wrong one. I hope I'm making sense. But Pablo had a different video talking about this as well, where he was saying like, if you go the traditional learning route and they tell you, oh, make sure you don't mix up these two words because they mean very different things, but they sound similar. Well, now every time you need to say one of those words, like you're gonna associate it with the other word and you're gonna get confused. That makes total sense to me, and it's happened to me now. Whereas like before, if you're just learning through comprehensible input and you never have that thought of that person telling you, oh, don't mix up these two words, don't say this one, you're probably not going to make the mistake. But now that you have that memory in your mind, you're way more likely to make that mistake because your brain has like made a connection with the two words. We're about to get on the bus, so I will talk to you guys a little bit later. No puedo dejar de eavesdrop. Every single conversation that anyone's having around me in Spanish, I'm always eavesdropping. I can't even help it. Estoy aquí y me siento muy triste, la verdad. I literally want to move here so bad, or at least want to live in Mexico or something. I don't know, because also I'm leaving so soon. It's like really hitting me. I just know that I'm gonna need to have Spanish such a big part of my life. I'm definitely gonna have to like arrange some things and figure out like what's going on, what are we doing, because I don't know, I just love it here. I feel like I belong here. So we'll see. Stay along for the ride. Chicos, I was just recording that, telling you guys that I want to move here and I'm kind of in my feelings. And then I saw this. This is my favorite number. I always see 1222 on the clock, like almost always. And so I'm feeling some type of way. Could this mean something? What do you think? Vamos a ver, ¿no? Les hago en español.
¿Qué onda, amigos? Estamos aquí en un restaurante en Mazatlán, Sinaloa, México. Saludar a todas las personas que quieren escuchar el acento, que quieren escuchar hablar a un nativo. Aquí está la prueba viviente. Espero puedan seguir aprendiendo español. Es el idioma más bonito que hay. Es el idioma más romántico, más hermoso que existe. Es el idioma del amor, el español. Entonces, no se den por vencidos. No es fácil, pero lo pueden lograr. Entonces, a echarle ganas.
Pues ahí está. Nosotros estamos aquí en un lugar para pizza. Es mi último día en México. Estoy muy, muy triste, la verdad. O sea, tan triste. No puedo explicar. Pero ya estoy lista para ver Enzo y no sé. I wanted to talk about something that has nothing to do with like where I'm at right now or what I'm doing. But I keep thinking about it and I wanted to talk about it with you guys. And it's the fact that it's been so nice also to be able to read in Spanish. Kind of take it for granted, or I don't realize that it's so different. But to the grocery store the other day, and it was so crazy because it was so normal. I could read everything, I had a memory come up in my mind years ago when my parents and I were at the grocery store in Mexico. Things were so difficult. Even trying to find the right type of milk that you want, or you're like, is this milk or is this cream? What percentage, or is this like a special kind? And I don't know, now it's so natural to just be able to read everything. Also with all the menus, like I never have to, fight to be like, do you have an English menu? Yeah, that's just something I totally noticed that I love. I've just been here enjoying la vida demasiado aquí, de verdad. Y también este lugar, esta ciudad es mi segunda casa, casi. O sea, no es mucho de vacación y turismo y cada día haciendo 1000 cosas para ver toda la ciudad y No, it's más just enjoying time with our friends and eating at all the places we love and things like that. So. Como 5 en la tarde, pero estoy pensando en todo lo que necesito comer aún en mi viaje y no sé, creo que voy a comer como 3 veces más hoy para comer todo lo que quiero antes de ir. Sí o sí necesito unos tacos más tarde en la noche. O sea, sí. Sí. Buenas noches, chicos. Estoy aquí solita in downtown area. I love being downtown, even when we lived super far away. Hi. On the other side of like the city, I literally would bus down here all the time by myself and just spend the day here, spend the night here. Like, I just love it so much. I always have. Like, could it get any prettier? Literally couldn't. I feel like as my trip is coming more to a close, I've really been thinking so much about like what I want my Spanish goals to be like after this trip and like what that's gonna look like, because as you guys know, for like basically the whole year I knew that this trip was gonna happen, and that's kind of what I was working towards like pretty intensely. I also feel that this trip has given me a lot more motivation to keep going. I'm really excited to continue to improve and knowing it can only get better from here. I think for me, reading is gonna help me a lot because I like barely read right now, as I told you guys. Estoy aquí en un terraza, pero ya estoy como dentro porque hay mucha humedad. Thought we could talk about what my goals might be for my Spanish learning journey after kind of like completing what my initial goal was for. Trip was always what I was reaching for. I was working towards this whole time with my Spanish, and now I've just been thinking a lot like, okay, when I go home, what is it gonna look like? What is my Spanish, like my daily journey with Spanish gonna be looking like? What are my goals? I know that I need to make like new goals in order to continue. The thing I've noticed here is I've been really impressed, of course, with my Spanish because I went from nothing to like a lot in less than a year. But now I hate to be this person, and you guys know, like, I actually speak against this. Like in some of my other videos, we can be so hard on ourselves as learners. I can't say that it's not true that there's been instances here where obviously you see what areas you lack in. And for me, situations like ordering food, and there's just been some situations where it's like, do I even know how to speak Spanish at all? For example, where I'm at today, they like asked me where I want to sit, and if I was alone or if I wanted to sit on the rooftop and stuff, and I just kind of like froze up, and I was like, yeah, can I sit upstairs? Number 1, ordering food. And number 2, these things, coming to restaurants, talking in these small talk conversations with the waiters or whatever, like, oh, where do you want to sit? And, you know, like that kind of thing. But also, like, when I was at the Mercado, there was definitely some situations too where I froze up and I did not know how to say things. Buenos días, chicos. Estoy aquí, mi último mañana. ¿Última o último? Creo que estoy confundida en este momento, pero estoy cansada y también muy triste. Wanted to share one last observación de mi tiempo en México. Hace unos minutos tenía que ir a la farmacia y it was just really good to be able to speak a little bit of Spanish, and more than speak, because obviously it's a very roundabout way, like I can get my point across, but it's like a roundabout way to say what I want to say. Being able to understand the pharmacist is so nice, to be able to understand everything and be able to ask like all the questions that I need and get all the answers that we need. I'm thinking that when I get home, you know, I'll probably have my thoughts together a little more. We might do a little recap or something. And yeah, so nos vemos tal vez en el aeropuerto, tal vez en la casa, no sé. Hola chicos, estoy en el aeropuerto comiendo un sándwich de Subway otra vez. Pero I remember last year when I was here, I ate at the Subway. And I was like, when I come here next time, I'm going to be able to speak in Spanish and order in Spanish. And it's true. And there were so many people in front of me literally screaming at the workers and then getting upset when like they would do something wrong. And I feel like it just struck a nerve. Like there's something with me now where that just really, that rubs me the wrong way now.